Okay, good morning. Welcome to London session. I hope you're doing well. It's 9 o'clock. Alright, give me 1 second. Alright, okay, so we're looking at the dollar index right now, and boy, it's been a very tough week, but you know, the tougher it gets, the better it will be. We had price on Wednesday give us what I was looking for, but the follow through that I was expecting didn't happen, and then yesterday we had this incredible move to the downside, which the level that I use to kind of anticipate that was this low here, right? That was when I anticipated they're going to trade for that imbalance there, because this was a down candle prior to this move up, and we turn around down here. So if we were going to go down, then they would have to take out this low, and the moment they did, that was it. Price was supposed to go down here. And on the trade ideas that I shared during the course of the week, we had price give us TP1 on Aussie and New Zealand. Both of them got TP1, and then once that right there happened at, I think that happened 8 a.m. yesterday morning. So 8 a.m. yesterday morning was here, right? So price returned back into not entry, just below the entry. So we closed the trade. Same thing applies to this one. At 8 we were down here, and we decided to close the trade because dollar index was supposed to go down from that moment there, right? I am going to talk a little bit about something that in case it applies to you. Yeah, I'm fine, thank you. I'm going to talk about something in case it applies to you. That's if you've been trading for a while, and if you've not been trading for that long, it's something that you might wanna I would say look into, but you might want to write it down so that it will help you in your trading going forward. And that is what happened this week, right? And that's what I've titled this session this morning. What happened this week? Now, if you're a trader and you've been trading for a while, okay, this week, if price did not do what you were expecting, all right, if price did not do what you are expecting, then you are bound for greatness. If price did what you expected in terms of looking for this to go down, you will struggle, okay? And I'm going to explain why I'm saying that. When price is moving up or down, okay, especially in a trend, do not, okay, do not try to call the high. Okay, do not try to call the high or to call the low in a bearish trend, because the moment you start trying to call the high or low, you are going to run into problems, and the biggest problem will be price is always going to go against you because you're trying to pick the high or you're trying to pick the low. But if you are the type that always go with the trend, then you are not going to worry too much about retracement. You're always going to stick with the trend until price shows you that price is turning around. Therefore, whenever we have a potential reversal, okay, I'm not saying this is a reversal, whenever we have a potential reversal, that is when you're going to struggle. Okay, so what I was driving to with the first statement, that if this week has been difficult for you, then you are bound for greatness, because you don't look for highs to form. Okay, whenever a high forms and it retraces, you are looking for continuation. Okay, so if a high forms and it's coming down, you are looking for continuation. If a high forms and it's coming down, you're looking for continuation. If a high forms and it comes down, you're looking for continuation. Where you're going to struggle with that, if you're trading with the trend, is when there is going to be a potential reversal, where price will not respect what you are anticipating. So if price is coming into a retracement and you're anticipating a continuation, that is where you're going to have some kind of issues with price action, because whatever you do, right, tends to fail, and your ability to be able to recognize that is going to be key. Leo, I feel you. You are still new to trading, so most of this is not gonna be you're yet to experience them. Okay, you are yet to experience them, because what you will, over time, you are going to go through what I'm saying. All right, so don't worry. The market will at the right time teach you that lesson. But I'm saying this, just in case. It's on YouTube, right? People are gonna find it, they're gonna watch it. So I'm saying it in general, and I put the date there for a reason, 16th to 20th, and I'm using the dollar, and we can go on to the foreign currencies, and it's going to be the same, because price has been going in a specific direction for some time. Therefore, there is going to be a potential retracement or a reversal, especially up here when price is above that high on a weekly time frame, right? So the normal, let me cut this one off. The normal price action will be, okay, yes, we are above this high, but still price is bullish, so we're gonna look for continuation to the upside. Okay, that should be what I'm driving to, is that should be your thought process. Your thought process shouldn't be, okay, we are above this high, therefore price should come down. I'm not. I'm not trying to destroy your dreams of trading forex. I'm being honest with you that you're still new. Um, you're still new, and I think the last time I mentioned that it takes some time for you to be, first of all, acquire the skills, and once you acquire the skills, then it's going to go to the next level, which you'll have to then learn to deal with the ups and downs of the skills that you've learned. So if you're still learning, which in case you are, right, which in case you are now learning the skills. So your next step will be how you're gonna flow with the skills that you've learned, with um, with your own experience. Because right now, as you're learning, it's like you're borrowing experience. So your next evolution will be, now that you've acquired the skills, then you have to learn, or you have to go forward with your own experience, what you've learned, how you can, apply it in the market. And that's where your learning will actually be. Your learning is not going to be now that you're beginning the journey, because now you're just absorbing information. The next step will be to apply the information, and in the application of the information, that's where the challenge is. Right? So I'm not destroying your dream. I'm just showing you reality so that you prepare. Okay? I don't want to kind of fill you with dreams. Okay? I want you to be real with yourself, and to be real with the market, because most of the failures in a lot of traders has got to do with not being realistic, or not being told the truth, right? And I'm trying to tell you exactly how it is. You're learning, then you're gonna apply what you've learned, and that is where the actual learning is. And then once you've mastered the skills that you've learned in your own experience, that's when you are going to be the trader that you want to be. Okay. But I was saying that dollar index up here, if you are trading this, right, the normal price action that you'll be expecting is, okay, I'm not anticipating it to go down. I want to look for it to continue going up, right? That should be your thought process. If your thought process is, okay, I want to see this come down, then you are the sort of trader that look to call highs and lows. And I was saying that if you do that, you're going to struggle, because price doesn't, or you don't have to, because you don't have the money to call the high, or you don't have the money to put the high in. Okay, so, and even anticipating it, right, will be a skill that you have to learn, how you can anticipate a potential high forming. That itself is a skill that you will have to learn when you trade with the trend. Okay, and over time, experience is going to teach you, because it's not one way that price will try to form a high. There are several ways. It could be fundamental, it could be technical, it could be anything. So trying to call the high over time, experience is going to teach you that, right? But as price is going up, like it has been for some time, right, since last year June, we've been going up. So you don't look to say, okay, because you place in this high, it's going to reverse, or because it placed this high, it's going to reverse, because it placed this high, it's going to reverse. Because if you do that, the moment price starts going back up again, if your level of skill or level of understanding is not up there, that is where a lot of traders loses it. When I say loses it, it means like they break, because it's like, why is it not doing what I'm expecting? Okay, why is it doing what I'm expecting? But the challenge for traders like that will be when it's reversing. And when it's reversing, when you are anticipating that continuation to the upside, that is where it's going to fail you. So with traders that trade with the trend, including myself, right? And again, I'm not saying I'm perfect, I'm talking to myself as well, because I in my trading journal, that is one of the things that I've highlighted big bold red, to be able to recognize when price is doing what. Price is going to, one, retrace, and two, reverse. Those are the two things that I spend most of my time improving, because once you trade with the trend, you are always going to be right, in the sense that most of your trades are going to be right because you're trading with the trend. But the struggle is going to be where there's going to be a retracement. But retracement in itself is not a problem, because once price starts retracing and you get it wrong, let's say for example in here, right, or in here, okay, say when we had let's get rid of this. Okay, let's say here, when price went above that high, right, you'll be looking for continuation. So your ability to know that is going to retrace like this, okay, is going to be key. And that is something that if you do trade, you have to also learn. If you trade with the trend, you have to learn, okay. But as this is coming down, if you are a trend trader, okay, then this is going to be fantastic for you, because you'll be able to recognize that price is in a pullback. So you're going to be what, expecting price to continue going up, okay. But if you are the type of trader, the second one that I was talking about, that you look to call for highs, then when price is coming down like this, okay, on foreign currencies, because this is dollar index, as it's coming down like this, right, on foreign currencies, you are going to see them going up, okay. Obviously we don't trade the dollar index, we trade the foreign currencies. You are going to see the foreign currencies going up, and if you bury your head in the sand thinking that price is gonna reverse and is going up, you're gonna struggle with this, because price will stop going up on your foreign currencies, and then they will resume going down. And then once they resume going down, if you are the trader that is not well disciplined, you will struggle at that point, okay. And then you still gonna struggle to switch, okay. You're gonna struggle when it gets down here, because you're expecting it to do what, to reverse. So when it doesn't reverse and it starts going back up again, you're still going to struggle when it's going up. Why? Because in your mind, price should be dropping, or in your way of trading, price should be dropping, or the foreign currency should be going up. So if price doesn't do that, your ability to switch from, okay, I think it's not gonna go, the foreign currencies are not gonna go up. Your ability to switch to go with the trend to the downside, that is also going to be a problem, because you are looking for a high to form. All right, so it's so key that you learn to trade without anticipating and without calling or looking for a high to form. You should always trade with the mindset that price, if price is going up, it's going to keep going up, and then learn where and how to anticipate retracement and reversals. So for example, if price goes for a high, okay, there's a chance that after price goes for a high, price can retrace. Keyword retrace, not reverse, because price, whoever has more money in the market can keep price going in one direction forever. Okay, and to prove that, you can look at the indices. Okay, you can look at the indices and see what it's been doing, right? If you are the sort of trader that look to call highs, okay, you will not be able to trade this. Okay, you will not be able to trade this, because any high that forms, forget COVID, okay, that was COVID, any high that forms, you'll be looking for it as a reversal, and in reversals you look for price to go in the opposing direction. Hence, you're going to be looking for price to go in the direction that you have chosen that it should go. And if it doesn't, again, that's where your problem will start showing up. So hopefully you understand what I mean by not anticipating, not calling the high, but know where and when to anticipate it, so that when it starts giving you signals of a retracement or a reversal, you will be able to see it. Okay, let me get rid of this. So what dollar index is doing right now, right, it's a potential. Okay, it's not a reversal, it's a potential retracement, because price is bullish. It's a potential retracement on the higher time frame, not this one, that one. So this week, and I'm moving into why I put the title, this week has been hard for traders, because including myself, I did manage to navigate through it with some rules where I showed you earlier. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I anticipated that drop, that's fine, and then Wednesday it gave me the reversal, which I happened to get a trade, and I was looking for it to follow through to continue, and it didn't, and it broke down here. All right, that was the rules that I have for myself that prevented me from trying to hold on to price going down. Okay, because if you don't have that, one, you're gonna be going with this, and then if it snaps down like it did, I think 2 weeks ago, in April, it did that in here. A lot of people were thinking at that point price has turned around, it's gonna continue going up, and it just dropped. And then same thing happened first week of May. At that point, everybody thought that price is gonna continue going up, right, because of that move, because they're looking for this to be what, a reversal, and price gave up as well. Okay, so same thing in here. You could look at this as, okay, price is now going up, only to see what, a reversal to continue going down. Okay, let's go back to dollar. So if dollar is going to do what, is going to go back up, it has to show you that it wants to go up. So right now, let's draw a line above this high. This is Thursday's, and it created a down candle. So for price to now resume the uptrend, we will have to get a close above Thursday's high. Okay, you'll have to get a close above Thursday's high. If price does not close above Thursday's high, you're gonna see it. Well, right now I'm looking for it to make a run for this low into this imbalance, but most importantly this low. I want to see price drop into this gap. All right, so that's the bias right now. Okay, so on foreign currencies, that's going to translate to higher prices for now. Okay, so on euro, I'm looking for a run into that. Right, I'm looking for a run into that imbalance, so somewhere up in here. With today price action giving a potential retracement, we want to anticipate it going back up again. So any pullback that you see, as long as we are above Thursday's high, as long as we are above Thursday's low, as long as we are above that low, there we go. As long as we are above that low, we are looking for a run up here into that imbalance. So we do have a couple of imbalances on the downside, this one and that one. Any of that should send price higher. So based on time, right now we are in London. If we trade into that, okay, you can look for 15 minutes swing low, 1 hour auto plot, or anything that you understand. You can use it to look for a continuation to the upside. On the H4 up here, right, we don't want to see it close. We don't want to see it close back inside it. So what I would like to see is maybe a stab, so price to just drop, hit this and reject, okay, and then make a run for yesterday's high and then these highs. All right, so maybe New York session might give you that retracement into that and then send it to that high. Okay, so that's the bias on euro. The bias on British pound is going to be the same. It's actually still traded inside that imbalance on the H4 here. There we go. It's trading inside that, and we should see it trade up here. And going into next week, this one will be a favorable pair to trade to go in here. Not this week, next week. I want to see this week stay like this. Okay. Bear with me. Okay. I want to see this week stay as it is, and if this week stays as it is, then we should see price trade up here, maybe bump into this candle's low. All right, and then we will see what will unfold next. So look for a run up there next week. Today I'll probably focus more on this one, euro to go up than the British pound, and I could be wrong. They both will look to go higher. Okay, you can trade both or you can choose one. It's entirely up to you. Okay, and with pound, we've closed in that void on the H4, so I'll look for a run above that high there. I'll look for a run above that high for maybe today. Okay, and again, as long as we are above Thursday's low, we're looking for higher prices. This one is an interesting pair. I was looking at my seasonal tendency earlier, I think that was yesterday, and I did anticipate a retracement forming, but not the way it did this week, right? The low usually forms on the 18th. Check if I'm right or I'm right. Come on, website is a bit slow. Yes, the low usually forms on the 18th, right? So when the week started, this week started on the 16th, I was looking for a run back down to this low to form a low in here. That's where I was anticipating them to form the low. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, that day, swept line, I was so happy that we formed this high. All right, because that was to me, that was a sign that we're going to run down here, form a low, and then pull back, because I love to trade with the seasonal tendency. So if seasonal tendency is going to give me a low that forms on the 18th, well, we have formed a high, so chances are it's going to drop quickly and then reverse, or not reverse, retrace. All right, so this week I was focused on this and Aussie and New Zealand were my go-to pair this week, and I did get something out of them. It's just that it didn't produce what I was looking for. Okay, so New Zealand, I think, is gonna trade maybe back to this low. Okay, so with that low formed, and let me play it. There you go. With that low formed, notice that it has formed a low on the 18th. Okay, I was looking for it down here, but it has formed it here. So it will look to retrace from the 18th till it's just seasonal tendency. I know it's weird. I don't know why. I don't know why, but that is what it is. Seasonal tendency says it does that. Who am I to question that? Okay, so it forms the low on the 18th, and it looks to go up till 27th. So between today and 27th, which is exactly next week, I'm looking for price to trade up. On the weekly time frame, I'm expecting an expansion to the upside. So if it's going to trade up, what are the PD arrays that price can trade to? We have this old low here, right? I know there's an imbalance in here, all right, but look where that imbalance is. The price action that is within that. There's nothing in here. Okay, there's nothing in here. So the level that price might reach for is this low here, and then maybe that. But next week I'll expect to see an expansion to the upside to trade to that low. All right, so with that, you can buy any pullback to auto block, run on stops. You're looking for price to trade to this low. Okay, this is a nice auto block here. If it does retrace to it, you can buy it, but I don't think it should. But if it does, you can buy it, and you can apply what I have recently taught you regarding an up candle. I think I taught you just last Wednesday. We have an up candle, a down candle, 1, 2, 3 maximum, right? And then if they trade back above the down candle, you project it. So if you project that, 2% is going to bring you to exactly this candle's low. I'm sorry, that's 168. 2% is going to bring you here. 3% is going to give you, lo and behold, that low. So I think price is going to trade higher on this pair. All right, exactly. Aussie, on the other hand, we are just here, so we also have a swing high in here, which is this one. Notice the difference between those two, and I'm gonna segue into something else. I'm gonna talk about something else in a little bit. Notice the difference between these two. Okay, Aussie will struggle to go up because of this candle. Right, that's a breaker. Down, up, break. That's a breaker. It's going to struggle to go through that. So I'm not looking for a massive push to the upside on this. This last up candle here, if you measure the mean threshold, I'll bring you somewhere here. If you're gonna go higher, that's how far I think it can go, which is basically this imbalance in here. So a run above this high, yeah, roughly somewhere in here. That's where I think price will reach for, and then it will struggle to go up because 1, we have this down candle, 2, we have a swing high, and 3, we are bearish. Okay, so price will struggle. So when that happens, or because of that, it's going to be weakness for the Aussie pair and strength for New Zealand. So I think that this pair will go down because of that. And if it's gonna go down, then where would this pair likely reach for? On the weekly time frame, I just taught you, we don't look for highs, but we anticipate it. So because price is above this high, and for those of you that did the homework, right, you didn't look at the weekly, because if you had looked at the weekly, you understand why the price is struggling to go up, because we've just stabbed into high time frame liquidity. So price is doing what? Potentially gonna retrace. So if it's gonna retrace, then this low is going to be a target. So I'm looking for weakness to be on Aussie and strength to be on New Zealand going forward, and that will lead this pair to do the trade lower. And this morning I happen to have this trade here where I'm anticipating it to reject and take out this equal low. And on the H4, closing this void. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for this morning on this pair today, right? Even if it goes up again, I will anticipate it to reject. Okay, so that's a potential trade idea that you can take if you want. And above this high, we do have an imbalance, so I've left my stop just above it, just in case they want to run the high again. So there you go. Let me post this one. I have, I think, 3 trades that I did identify. Oops, that's not what I wanted to post. Okay, let's go back. So we are looking for higher prices. Okay, the other trade is on gold. I think gold is going to reach for these highs, this equal high. Right, so if you trade gold, look for buys, and I think I've shared this one with you guys before. If you're interested, DM me, because yesterday it did amazing. It gave a buy signal here, and then this morning is giving another buy signal, and I'm looking for a run above this high. I'm not using this as the trade. This does trade with the way I look at price. It's basically, it's my mind turned into you know what I mean, it's turned into an indicator. So I'm looking for it to go for that. Now what changed, because I was looking for price to trade down here, what changed? The moment price did not respect this auto block and you trade it above it. It doesn't look like the ones that I've been pointing you to, where let's say if you create this up candle, you measure it and then you project it to the downside. It doesn't look like one, but it is one. It's just that the time frame that it happened on, okay, it's not on the daily. If you put it on the 8 hours, you will see here, right, this up candle 1 2, right, and then we go above it. That's manipulation. It's gonna look to expand, so you can project that, and if you project that, it's gonna bring you up here. Okay, so that's where I'm looking for price to go on this. So you can look for buys on gold to go up, and I just showed you what my bot or the indicator is showing, with a stop below that. It bought the imbalance, so it's looking to expand to the upside. Okay, so that's gold. The other trade is oil. Now oil, it's another beast. Yesterday, and I should have left my trade idea there. I shared a trade idea last week with my private group, right? I did anticipate that this is going to go back up again because it was optimal trade entry. I think if we met Wednesday, let me see when Wednesday was. Wednesday we were here. Wednesday morning. Yep, Wednesday morning we were here, and I think I said it's going to go to optimal trade entry and then continue going up. So because of that, I sold short to come down here, but the trade idea that I gave them was from this auto block here 2 weeks ago, or 2 weeks ago, or last week. Yeah, last week. We were buying this with a stop below that and looking for price to run that equal high, and you can see it did that. So with that retracement, I did not anticipate this. I wanted to see them run this low where my stop loss was, so I canceled that trade because this is optimal trade entry, and OTA usually like to run 70.5 stops. Okay, the 70.5, if there are stops below that, it will look to run that. So if I'm looking for price to run that low, why would I want to leave a trade with the entry here and stop loss here? Plus, there was a whole lot of price action that converged around here, right? Remember the lesson I gave you on Fibs? If price gets to where 127, it's going to retrace to where 50, and if it goes deeper to the 25, or if you reverse it, if it goes to 127 and it comes to 50, that should be a buy. If it goes to the 0.75, that's extreme, that's really deep discount, you want to buy that. So there was a lot of things converging around here for price to reject. So on the 1 hour, I wanted to see a close above this down candle, and then I'll buy it, and this candle didn't, and then you can see what happened next. So oil, I'm looking for a continuation to the upside. The only downside to this is that we have gap up here, but I'm trusting the bullish price action. What I just talked about, I'm not looking for this to be a high, so I'm trusting that we are bullish and it should go through it. Okay, so oil should continue going up to attack this high, this high. And my entry is this down candle, so I'm protecting myself with this down candle and looking for price to go up and partial above this high. Once price gets above that high, that's going to be a partial profit level. All right, what's your view? Sorry. What's your view on Aussie Yen? Let's go to Aussie Yen. Okay. So Aussie Yen, I was looking at the futures this morning, and you see that I have both of them here. Where is it gone? It's on the other screen. My bad. Let me put that. Let me look at Swiss yen first quickly. Okay. Because that Swiss traded to that level that I mentioned. Yesterday, I think, it wasn't yesterday. I remember you asked about Swiss yen, and I said it can trade into that volume imbalance, right? And then once it trades there, it's going to struggle. Okay, and that's when you want to look at this Swiss yen. And I pointed you to this high, and that high, that is high resistance in nature. So if they go and attack it, you should see a rejection. It hasn't given any strong rejection above it, but maybe if you look at it during the New York session, right there, yeah, we do have that order block there. So during the New York session, maybe it might run up into it and then rejection. So watch that. Okay, that's just by the way. Aussie yen, I was looking at the Aussie and yen. Uh, 6A. Okay, so this is the yen on the weekly time frame. Look where we are. Very, very deep discount. We've been dropping for decades. Right? We've been dropping for decades. Since December to May. That's an incredible drop. But this year, to now. So there's a potential that this can do what can retrace. Let's move to the monthly and then I'll show you. We have attacked previous month low here. So I'm building a case story so you understand my point of view, because everything has to be logical. If it doesn't, I don't just look at patterns, okay? Because patterns works on logics. Logics will work before the patterns will play out. We took our previous week low. Yeah, our previous month low, And then on the weekly time frame, we gone above this down candle, and this week you're going above it. We have a volume imbalance in here, so I think price is going to trade into that. Okay, price is going to trade into that. On Aussie, we've just gone below this low, and we are trading back to that. And I already gave you the narrative on why I think Aussie should do what? Stay in a kind of a bearish tone. It's not bullish and it's not bearish. You stay kind of consolidation to bearishness. Okay, so if that's the case, then yen has more potential to move higher than this. There's room to go up here. This one is faced with some kind of resistance. If we drop down to the daily, it will even make more sense. This is trying to push to the last up candle. If you measure this down candle projected to the upside, one to 7 is just above the high. We also have a small volume imbalance in here. Okay, 1 to 7 is just above the high. We have a small volume imbalance in here. So let's highlight that. So what can happen is that it might run into where we are now and then start giving some form of a rejection. At the same time, yen, we did close above previous day's high, so that's, we're expecting higher prices. We are not looking for this to be a high. So in the H4, we want to buy any retracement to imbalances. Currently, we are sitting inside one. So I'm expecting yen to push up, and at the time that this will be pushing up, they should be facing with some form of resistance, and that will bring you to Aussie yen. So with Aussie yen trading, where's the daily? Trading still within this framework, which is this high, that down candle, it's going to be a resistance for price to go up the moment it trades above this high. Okay, if it's able to do that, that should trigger a rejection based on the narrative that I've given you over here. Right, so if it's able to go, that's if, right, it's a big if it's able to go above that high, you will, or you should start anticipating some form of a rejection. Okay, it might not do that today because it's Friday. It might do it next week. So today might be maybe some sort of a consolidation day where you can see just took out previous day's high, and then it will come back down again and then stay in a consolidation. But with the narrative that I've given over here, okay, the Aussie will be faced with challenges going up. This one is free to reach for the volume imbalance. Okay, therefore they should come back down and attack this low, and pretend that there was an equal low that I was looking for over here. And we also have equal lows down here. Okay, so it's like it's building liquidity on the downside to come and attack. And the reason why I think if it goes for that, it might reject. We have it go high there. So it shouldn't go up there, but if it does, then you should anticipate some form of a rejection to come back down again. All right. So that's my view on Aussie Yen. All right. Another pair that I saw some, I do my analysis every day to see maybe price action will give some clues overnight, and sometimes by the end of the day it also gives some clues. New Zealand, Euro New Zealand, Euro New Zealand, I think, is looking to attack this low. I think it's looking to attack this low. Okay. I think it's looking to attack that low. Because we are in premium. $127.50. 127.50. Right? That's why price is struggling to go up again. And the imbalance is being closed in, and still price is struggling to go up. Okay, usually if it closes the imbalance in, the next price action should be should trade higher, but it's struggling. So it will want to attack some sell side liquidity, which is that low there. So if you see any pullback to an order block, anything you wanna go short. Yesterday it did something amazing. I think it was during the live session in the morning. I said I wanted to see price around this low, and on the H4 I don't want it to be a close below, I want it to be just a wick. And then if it does that, you can look for a buy to trade up here. So it rejected, trade down to that order block, buy to go up there. It's not a lot of movement, but it's amazing how it did, like literally every single thing that it's like price was listening to me, and that was the level that I mentioned you should do it from. Alright, so today it looks to me that it's gonna listen and go and attack this low with the strength on New Zealand, right? Because currently there is strength in New Zealand. Same thing applies to this one. If we close below this, if we close below that, you're gonna look for a sell to come here. Okay, if we close below that on a H4 basis, what time frame is this? Yeah, if we close below that on the H4 basis, any pullback you might wanna look to sell it to come down there. Okay, so that is that. Those are the two pairs that I can see what they're trying to do. Aussie, that might stay in a consolidation for now. Okay, that might stay in a consolidation for now, so ignore that one. Okay, the strength is in New Zealand, so look for the New Zealand pairs. All right, let's go back here. Okay, what next? Bitcoin. Bitcoin, I have a feeling that Bitcoin is gonna go up. Okay, I have a feeling that Bitcoin is gonna go up. This morning I was watching it, and this is what I saw. That price might trade for this equal high, and if it does go for that high, no, it's a feeling more than price action. Um, Price action wise, we've gone for this equal low, and it's rejecting. We've not managed to trade above any down candle yet, but I'm anticipating that maybe today that they might trade above this. They've gone for the stops. You can see I have a line. They've gone for the stops above it, or they've gone above that high. And I'm thinking that we might trade for that equal high. Okay. And the H4 imbalance should hold to send us up there. So if the H4 imbalance gets traded through, then maybe they might want to come back down for this one, and then maybe I don't think it should come back down here. It can, but if they've managed to reject that low, I think it should see higher prices. So based on that, you're watching this down candle here as a potential order block, that if they go above it, you want to look for buys to trade up here as well. And you can use the fib extensions that this is the one. You can use the fib extensions that I've taught you. So if it's coming up from the 618, then it's going to trade to 7.5, and then maybe to 0.50, and then maybe a resume going lower. So if it's gonna go up, you might trade back up to this last up candle here, or you can target that imbalance up there. All right, and if it goes a little bit higher, then you target the 50, which is that red line. Okay, and then we should resume going lower, and that would be the same thing for Ethereum. Okay, Ethereum should hold this and go higher and trade above the down candle here, and if they do, I'll trade it to the 1 and then the 0.75. Alright, and I will not look any further. Okay, so I think pretty much that's all I have for today. The rest I'll leave it for questions. If you have any question, feel free to ask. Dollar CAD, I think dollar CAD is gonna trade for this low as well. I think dollar CAD is gonna trade for that low. We have kind of equal low here, so can you explain the buy on gold? Okay, I said gold should trade higher because this was not respected. Okay, they did not respect this. On the daily time frame, price traded above this high. It was a run on stop. This one, that was a run on stop, and that should have sent price lower, but they've come back above it. Also, we had an imbalance that has not been respected. They've traded through that. So if that's the case, then price is not willing to go down. It wants to trade a little bit higher. So if it wants to trade higher, what is it trying to reach for? Well, we have equal high here, we have equal high here. So the easiest one is the first one, this one here. So your buy is going to be either here, here, those imbalances, or you can trade all the way back down to this high again and still be valid to go up. Okay, because we have that H4 imbalance. So even if you trade down there, it's still valid to go up here. And I wouldn't want to see that because we are above this high. Okay, so price should stay basically above that high. Price should stay above that high and then go up. What do you think about Euro Aussie? I just mentioned that okay, let's do a full analysis on this. I was saying stay put on that one as well, on the Aussie pairs, and then focus on the New Zealand pairs. But you want to know what Euro New Zealand is up to. I'm sorry, Euro Aussie. Let's put a line here. High, low, break, pull back. This pair is kind of looking, remember what I said about the weakness that I'm anticipating on Aussie. Maybe it might produce one big candle like this to attack this high and then resume going lower again. Long term is bearish. Okay, long term is bearish. This is just a pullback, but because we have this price action here and we're above that, it's always going to look to attack these highs. Okay, the New Zealand, on the other hand, we don't have that kind of price action, so it can trade down, but it's not going to drop in a single move like this. Okay, it's going to reverse and continue going down. It's not going to go there in a single move. So this might trade down a little bit more to attack this low and then pull back. When that is happening, this might run up quickly to go and take out this high, because there will be weakness in Aussie. When we have weakness in Aussie, it will be bullish, and I think that will be probably next week. And with the fact that they've attacked previous week low, okay, the fact that they've attacked previous week low, so I think the draw on liquidity is still up here, right, because of this price action down here. So the draw on liquidity is still up here, and next week, if we get the weakness in the Aussie, next week, if we get the weakness in Aussie, that's when I think it's going to do that run, but it might do it very quick. So if you want to trade it, you might want to get entry with maybe a 1 hour time frame, because it might do it quick like this, because it's like it'll be in a hurry to continue going down. Okay, so if it's in a hurry to continue going down, then obviously the run up will be something like that, very violent and quick, and then as soon as it taps that liquidity, it might come back down again. So I still believe it should, as long as we are inside that range, I still believe the draw on liquidity is up here, right? And I think what I mentioned earlier regarding looking for the high to form applies here. I'm not looking for this to be a high yet. For that to be a high, I will have to be wrong for them to go and attack this low, and that is where the experience of being able to anticipate it comes in. So if you're going to anticipate this to be a continuation, you have to stick with it until it proves you wrong. So that means you might have to take some losses down here, and then once you take those losses and it gives you this clear signal that it wants to go down, then you change and then you start looking for sells. Let me do this and let's see. So 618, yeah, 618, it might want to trade to 0.5. Yeah, you might want to trade 2.5. I'm sorry, 0.75, which it missed it by a couple of pips. So I think it might form the low of the week next week somewhere in here and then run up. So it does, it does tie it up with what I'm looking for on Euro New Zealand. That should also try to come down here, right? Take out that liquidity, maybe potentially trade below for this order block and then retrace and then go down again. Okay, but for now I just see them running this low. For them to go down, we'll see. It will give signals. We will see. All right, any other questions? Okay, I think we've exhausted all the questions, so I am going to end here, and just go with a broker that is I would say a reputable broker. Go with someone that it's regulated. Go with someone that is regulated. I use IC Market. I've been using IC Market for how many years now? Since 2017, and I've had no problems with them. Yeah, sometimes they do some dodgy stuff, but it is what it is. So I trade with IC Market. I'm not saying you should go and sign up with them, but those are the people I trade with. Owanda, I don't trade with Owanda because of I think back in 2020, I was trying to go onto their platform, and I saw a few things that didn't appeal me. One, because the leverage that they offer was 30 to 1 for a max, was 30 to 1. And I think a friend of mine recommended them to me. When I started trading with them, their spread and sometimes the way, when market is about to close, the way they open their spread, I didn't like it. I had some trades that never went to stop loss, but they took me out. So, when I saw these kind of things, I immediately closed the account, and I took my money out and then put it back in my IC market account. So I have been trading with IC market. Don't have any experience. The only experience that I had is FXCM when I first started trading. That was back in 2015, 16. I think I traded with FXCM for 1 year and a half, and yeah, that was I didn't like their platform. I don't know, maybe it's because I was a newbie, so I didn't like it, so I moved on. And I think since I started trading ICT, I just found IC market to be and I think what led me to use IC market was the fact that they had the dollar index futures on the MT4 platform. Okay, they had the dollar index futures on their platform, so that made me, because at the time TradingView was there, but it wasn't that popular, and I was on MT4, so I wanted something that would give me the dollar index to do my analysis, and that was when IC Market provided that. And when I signed up with them, that's it. I got stuck with them. Yep, that's why. That's why 36 pips is quite a lot for them to take you out. 36 pips is quite a lot. IC Market, let me provide you with I do have there you go. You can use this link to sign up with them. You can use that link to sign up with them if you want to. Okay, it's entirely up to you. Okay, so that's it from me. Bam, that was nice. Euro pound turn around. Bam, bam, bam. All right, no problem. So let's touch base again next week. And for those of you, I'll see you in the afternoon for New York session. And yeah, let's see what we have. Take care. Have a good weekend. And I'll see you guys next week.